Hello and welcome everyone. This is Sunil from 3D Archsteps. Once again, welcome to my new tutorial series in which I will be showing you all how to make or how to do a architectural visualization of an interior scene inside Unreal Engine. The scene which I will be using for the complete process of teaching you all how to do architectural visualization will be this in a Scandinavian house interactive walkthrough in Unreal Engine, which I recently posted on my YouTube channel. Here you can see in this Scandinavian house interactive walkthrough inside Unreal Engine. I also posted it on Facebook, my one of my group which I have joined, Unreal Engine for archviz, and I posted on several groups so that I can get feedbacks about it. I posted it on Evermotion, submitted it for Evermotion, and it got published on their article and on this editor's choice gallery. So I will be going on and explaining everything I did from scratch to finish, step by step, without skipping anything in the way, so that you all can learn how to do a scene with this much of realism. If you all think that it's realistic enough and you want to learn the complete process, then you can follow the tutorial which I am going to show in this tutorial series. And I wish you all very good luck so that you can learn how to do a very realistic scene like this inside Unreal Engine. And it's a bit complicated and a long process to do this type of scenes inside Unreal Engine, but it's well worth it, because the amount of feature you get after completing this inside Unreal Engine, despite of being a complicated process, it's amazing, like interactivity, and then you can walk inside real time, and then you can also use a VR device to visualize the scene, and you can change the material and all those things that are amazing stuffs that we can get if we can complete this type of scene inside the Unreal Engine. If you want a image render and nothing else, then you can just go ahead and use 3D Studio Max out of the box to render this scene. But if you need to render animation, walk inside the scene in real time, use a VR device to explore the scene and to change the stuffs like material, colors of the floor, textures, everything, and have some amazing experience of visualizing an architectural visualization scene, then I think you should go for converting that particular scene or any particular scene inside Unreal Engine. That will be well worth of your efforts. So without any further ado, let's get started how to complete this whole process that is involved in making this scene. And that scene is this, and you can also see here it's this scene, and then here also. So let's get started. For that, first of all, what we will have to do is I will just go ahead, open 3D Studio Max, and I will be covering everything in detail from scratch to finish, every technical thing that I have involved and used in this scene to achieve the realism or the quality I will be showing you all. So just stay tuned and let's see how it goes and how well we can learn to do this types of scene inside Unreal Engine. One more note, we will be using 3D Studio Max, Unreal Engine and Datasmith throughout the course, and we will be using GPU Lightmask in the entire process, but the process is absolutely same like CPU Lightmask. The only difference is you will have to install GPU Lightmask, and that's it, and everything rest is absolutely same, so we don't need to worry about that. So let's get started. I will go ahead and open the scene, and here it is, Scandinavian house, and I will go ahead and open the original 3D Studio Max file which I got as a download. So this is the file that I will assume is you have got from any modeler, and let's just open it. So it shows a error that corruption found in scene by 3ds Max security tools. And the reason I got this message because I have installed a script that is called prune. You can go ahead and just search it on Google. It's a paid script that I have purchased, and you need to purchase it. If you have it, it will be best. If you don't have it, it's not a big deal. It's just you have to be aware that there is a corruption in the file, and if you don't worry about it, it's okay and fine, nothing will happen. But if you have this plugin or a script that is named as prune, then it will be the best that you clean the file with this help of it will automatically clean your file. So let's go ahead, and I will just click clean corruption, and then it says that corruption successfully cleaned by 3ds Max security tools, and next step you must save the current scene to prevent future corruption. Then click close and wait for the file to get open. And once the file is open, you will get this message. If you get any message like missing external files and all, just click continue. And then if the file is isolated prior to the opening, then you just click OK, and we will go ahead, and it says notification worm.3dsmax.alc.db virus detected and removed, and that's okay for us, and it's beneficial for us. So let's go ahead, and then I will close this dialog box, and the first thing I will do is I will just go ahead and save this file, save as, and then I will name it as tutorial, and then just tutorial, and I will give it a version so that we can save the file incrementally over the course, and I will click save. After the file has been saved, first thing we will do is we'll just go ahead and collect every assets in the file to a specific folder, so that if we export after optimizing the scene, then the file will not find any missing asset issue. For that, what we'll do is we will go inside a script, and then I click on run script, and this is a script that is MB resource collector. I will provide this script with the tutorial assets. So we'll just go ahead and click open, and it will give a dialog installed as max script utilities, and then you can see here, and in this utilities panel, max script in utilities, we'll go ahead, click here, and then we will click MB resource collector, and after that I will go ahead and then select a folder where I want this file to be collected with every assets that are used in the file. So I will go ahead and select max file here inside my tutorials series or tutorial assets, which I will be collecting for you guys or for you all, so that I can provide it to you all. So I will go ahead and then select folder, and make sure that update asset path names and include max file and convert to relative paths are selected, and then just click collect files. So now you will see a dialog box that files have been copied and all those things, and after that we will just click OK, and then OK, just neglect this error, and then I will go ahead and click close to the new open folder, and then again I will go ahead and then click open, and then I will go inside D drive and then tutorial 3D Studio Max, and I will then open this file because I have this file on which I am going to continue. This is the file which I have reset from the original file. So now I will go ahead and then open this file, and we'll continue further, and go ahead and click continue, and then click OK, and after that just click on isolation, switch off isolation, and then I will switch off this also, and then if I go in camera VRayCam01, then I can see this file here. And what I will do is I will just go ahead and click on right click, and then instead of user defined viewport I will click standard, so that I can see everything like this. And after that I will just click shift F, or maybe we don't need shift F because it's not in safe frame. And then I will click, and then I will click P to go in perspective view, F, and then P, and then I will click Z. Again I will go ahead and then click standard, so that it will make the file a bit faster in navigating. And I see here all this type of extra stuffs in the scene, and then I will delete those. And first of all what I will do is I will just go ahead and click Ctrl A, and then I will click right click, and then I will object properties, and then I will just go ahead and click back face see through. I will switch off, and then displace box, and then back face curl, and then show frozen in gray. I'll switch off all these things, and then I will leave this edge only to on, and then I will click OK. And after that what I will do is I will just go ahead and optimize this scene so that it can perform as best and as good as possible inside Unreal Engine. And we cannot just go ahead and then export this scene and then we will be able to make this realistic. We have to organize, and then we have to modify this, and we have to optimize the whole scene so that it behaves accurately according to the way Unreal Engine has been designed. So what we can do is I will just go ahead, and first of all what we need to do is we will just go ahead and go in customize, and then in preferences, and I will see that make sure that this texture coordinate use real world texture coordinates has not been on. So after that I will just go ahead and then check the units of the file. It's very crucial thing. So I will go ahead here in the unit setup, and I will make sure the system scale unit is in centimeter, and the display unit scale is also in centimeter. After that what I will do is I will just right click here, and then I will click unhide all, and then I will right click and click on unfreeze all. And after that I will just go ahead and click Ctrl A, and then in groups I will click open recursively, and this will open the whole open all the groups inside the scene, so that we can select all the files individually instead of an object in the part of a group, so that we can individually select everything, and we are not forced to select it as a group object or a group or a part of a group. So what we will do is after that what we have to do is we have to snap every object on each other. That means if I see here, that means if I go here and then I apply edit poly on top of it, and then if I go inside polygon, what I just press F4, that means everything you see here, this face is going inside here, so it has to be snapped on the end of this object. If you want to make a very accurate and realistic architecture visualization, then things like this should not happen. That means you have to go in edge, and then you have to click this edge, and then I will go ahead and click S for snapping on, and I will make sure it's a 3D snap, and then right click here, and in snap option you have to click vertex, and then in option you have to click snap to frozen objects, and translation enable axis constraints, and after that you have to snap it here like this. So every object should be snapped to each other, no object should be crossing like this. like this. So if I try to snap it here, then it's not being snapped because it's part of this object. Then what I can do is I can just go ahead in edge mode, and I will click here, and then I will click connect, and then I will go ahead and snap it here, and then I will go ahead here, and then I will delete that particular polygon. I'll just click here, and then I will go ahead and hide selected, and then I can select this particular polygon, and I will delete it, and then I will write, and I will then click unhide all. So if you can see, I have deleted the inner portion, and if inner portion is there, I will suggest just try to delete all those types of. So what the next process will be, you have to snap everything on each other. That means this type of crossing over geometry should not be there. So I will go ahead and snap every objects in the scene accordingly the way I have shown it. And here I assume that you know 3D Studio Max modeling quite a bit. If you don't know it a lot of it, if you don't know it in detail, not a big deal. Just if you know a little bit of modeling inside Max, then you can just cross check for every object that it's not intersecting each other, and everything is snapped on the surfaces as properly as possible. So after that, what we'll do is we'll arrange every objects according to their property on different layers. So for that is, and before arranging the objects in the layers, we have to go inside our scene and check for the floor if and check the floor whether if it's using any floor generator modifier. And if it's using floor generator modifier, then what you'll have to do is you'll have to go and cross check the parameters of floor generator so that it's accurate and not not oversaturated value or any so that it's accurate and does not have oversaturated values. So for that, I will just go ahead and click any object that has been planted on the surface or the floor, and after that I will just go ahead here in floor generator and see the extrude height and bevel height. So this extrude height and bevel height is too much, so I will go ahead and make it 0.25, and bevel height also I will make it 0.25. so now it's accurate. And if I go here like this and see very closely, then I think it's proper now. So you have to cross check the floor generator modifier if it's has been used, because if you convert a file or take file from one place to another, then this floor generator generally tends to have some issues with it. So values are modified somehow. So again I will go ahead here, and then I will just correct the height 0.25 and the bevel height also to 0.25. And I think there is one more floor here, and for that what I will do is I will just go ahead and hide this, and I will click every object having floor generator plugin. I think that's enough, and maybe this object also, let's see. Yes, it's also having floor generator. So I'll go ahead here, and then I will make it 0.25, and this also to 0.25, and then 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. So I have cross-checked all the floor generator, so I have cross-checked all the surfaces that have been modeled using the help of floor generator. And after that, what I will do is I will just go ahead, arrange every object according to the layer. So I will go here in the layer panel, and then I will switch this to layer explorer. And after that, I will just go here in selection filter, and then I will click geometry, and then Control A, and then after that I will just go here and create a new layer, and I will then rename this layer to 01 underscore sm underscore geo. Geo means geometry, and then I will just hide this layer, and I will click anywhere else in this layer palette, so that the next layer doesn't get created inside the any selected layer. So if it's this layer is selected, and if I click new layer, then the new layer will be created inside this layer. So to avoid that mistake, we have to just click here inside this empty area, so that once we create a new layer, then it will be creating separately. And after that, what we will do is we will go ahead and click shapes, and then click Control A. And since we don't have any shape objects inside the scene, it's okay for as of now. So we'll now go ahead in lights and click lights, and then click Control A, and then I will go ahead and then click this create new layer, and then I will rename it 02 underscore lights, and then I will hide it. Then I will go ahead, click cameras, and then Control A, and then create new, and then 03 underscore cameras, and then I will hide it, and then I will click outside of this in empty area, and I will click helpers, and then I will click Control A, and then click here, and then I will name it 04 underscore helpers. So if you might be wondering why I opened all the objects from a group and then I arranged everything in the layer, because the way we will be arranging objects inside this max file, it will be getting carried over to Unreal Engine. So for a point of organizational view, it's very much useful. And the other part is, if the group is not opened, then the amount of number present in the group, every object will be multiplied if we export a group to Unreal Engine. Then suppose if a group is having two objects, then if we export it, then it will export 4 objects, and including in the group handler itself. So it's a wise decision that you should always open it, and then you should arrange the helper and the group objects inside a different layer, and we will only export the physical geometry that was present inside the group object. So after that, we'll go ahead and then click this show our sm underscore geometry level, and then I will go ahead and delete all these unwanted layers which we don't need, since they are empty layers. So I'll go ahead and delete all these layers, and I will make this SMGeo layer as my active layer, and I will go ahead and delete all these objects that are present outside of our. I click if you are not able to select this object, then make sure the selection filter is set to all, and after that you can select them and just go ahead and then. And before that, before deleting all these objects, just go ahead and Control A, and then right click, and then convert into editable mesh. And once you have converted everything inside editable mesh, now I will go ahead and delete every object that is outside of our project boundary. Just I will click delete, and maybe we can also delete these objects. because they're outside of our geometry and I think we don't need them. Yeah, so after this what we'll have to do is we'll have to detach every object present in the scene accordingly into small chunks or small objects, so that they can be very so the quality of light mask that will be getting baked on them will be as good as possible. If the objects are very big, then we'll have to increase the light mask resolution to a very higher amount, and it will not be very good for the scene, because a very high quality of light mask baking has to be used so that you can get a very realistic result. So to achieve a high quality of realistic light mask bake on every object, we can use two ways. One, we can use a large resolution on in light map on objects, or we can break the objects into smaller pieces, so a low amount of light map resolution is also a more than enough to get a photorealistic or to get a very high quality light bake on the objects. So to achieve that, what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and delete this roof because it's extra and we don't need that thing. And I think this roof is like going inside the roof, so okay, let's leave it as it is. So we'll start from the roof of our breaking the objects. Go ahead and then click polygon, and then I can go ahead and then click detach and then detach. And if I select a polygon in edit mesh and then if I click D, then it detaches instead of deactivating my viewport, because I have set the hotkey for edit mesh polygon to get detached if I press D. So you can also do that. You can just Google it on any Google it on the site, and then you can get to know and so you can go ahead and Google it how to change the keyboard shortcuts inside Max, and it's a very easy thing to change the shortcut. And then you can uh, map your D key to detach a mesh into a polygon once you are in polygon mode on a editable mesh. So I'll go ahead and then after detaching it, I will go ahead and then I will hide this, and then I will isolate, switch off isolate selection, and then I will click the wall, and then I will go ahead and then in polygon I'll go ahead and click detach, and I will just go on doing this until I have detached every object. So I think there is some issue here inside this object, so I'll go ahead and correct it. For that what I'll do is I will just go ahead here and then I will, okay, we can leave it as of now, we'll correct it later. So I just went ahead and then I just press Ctrl I and then hide, so that I can see if anything else has to. And I will break the object from inside, because outside we are not going to see anyway, so we don't need a high quality light bake on outside of the wall, outside wall. So we just go ahead and then leave it as it is. We will only select from and detach from interior, so that we can bake them in as good quality as possible. So after that, what I'll go ahead and will just hide it, and I will just go ahead and continue doing this. And I will press Ctrl Q to select similar, and then I will hide it. So if I have a complex object like this, and we have to detach it in a smaller pieces, so what you can do is, a shortcut will be just go inside element of the edit mesh, and then click Control A, and you'll select all the elements, and then go here in explode section, in edit geometry, explode and make it 180, and then just click explode and then click OK, and it will create a small objects, and that is very much beneficial for us. So we'll just go ahead and do like this, and I'll hide it. And I think it's not wise to detach it in several different objects, so I will just go ahead and keep this into one object, and then I will just select some of the polygons or elements from this, and then detach it, and then detach. So basically I just detached it in few more further objects wisely, so that I can get a good light bake on this. And on this chair we can just keep it like this only, hide it and then hide it and then hide it and hide it. And if you can see these edges, just hide it, and then go ahead and then click element. Okay, it's only one element, so let it be. Go ahead, click Ctrl A and then explode, and then Ctrl A and then hide it. Go ahead, Ctrl A. And doing all this stuff is 100% crucial. So don't get impatient and don't get frustrated. You need to do all these steps in order to get a photorealistic result. So there is no shortcut about it. So just be patient and give your full attention while doing this, and just think logically how you can combine. And the best posture, if you want to be lazy, just Control A and then explode. If you want, you can just pick some adequate amount of object in one group and then detach it in one object, but that requires even more patience and time. So it's better to just select all the elements inside a object and then explode it. So it's a little so it's a little bit fast to do things. So just go ahead and Control A and then explode, and Control Q and then hide. Control Q means select similar. So I'll just go ahead and then hide it. I'll just go ahead and hide it, and I will just I will delete this. I think I will delete this. Control H, click, and no, I just want to make a big confirm that it's a light of corona. Yes, click Control Z and then I will delete it, and then Control H again, and then I will see here it's also a corona light. So I will just go ahead and delete this also. I'll go ahead and then select this door. Every time I will say you all just be impatient, just be patient, just have patience and don't be impatient, so that you have to detach objects like this. It's necessary. If you're not detaching it, then I cannot assure the quality you need. So I'll just go ahead and then hide it. I will hide all the books because books are quite small enough. I will just go ahead and select and hide all the objects that are small, so we don't need to break them. Just go ahead and keep hiding all the small objects that we don't need to break into smaller objects. So objects like this of also objects having this type of complexity, what you'll have to do is you'll just go ahead and then go inside editable mesh and then polygons and then top view, and then click this window crossing, and then just go ahead and select a few chunks of them and then click detach and then detach. That means the whole purpose is to detach them in a small objects so that we can make a light map, make the light maps on them as good as possible, and we can keep the light map resolution small. So just go ahead and then polygon, and then I will select. Oh, I think we should go ahead and detach. Try to follow along, and if you are doing this on any separate scene of yours, just try to follow or accomplish all the steps that I am taking here in this scene, and this works on every type of project, whether it's interior or exterior, so don't have a doubt about it. The objects that are already small, I'm just going on and hiding them. We have to detach only the objects that are big like this. So now this object had been detached in few small pieces, and now we can bake a very good quality of lighting, even if we light bake, even if we keep the resolution low, and it will help to render the scene as fast as possible. This is a corona render light, so I'll just go ahead and delete it. And for the floor like this, what you'll have to do is you'll just go ahead and detach it smartly. I'll go in polygon and then select all this. And I will detach it like this. So as you can see that I have detached the floor into several different objects so that we can make a very high quality light, so that we can do a very high quality light bake on this floor objects. So it's the base of the floor, so I will just go ahead and hide it. For a skirting like this, what you have to do is you have to detach them into several small objects. So like this, I have detached these skirtings into several different objects, and the reason is we will get a very nice quality light bake on them. I'm just going ahead and hiding all the objects that I don't need to detach. Nothing special here. I will detach this object in smaller chunks, maybe chunks of 5 to 10. And for this floor we can do like this. Just go ahead and select few objects like this, detach. And I will not at all miss any steps that I take inside this tutorial series. I may fast forward a bit few times, but I will never skip anything, so that you can see exactly what is needed to be done to achieve result like that which I have achieved. This is a bit complicated object, so we'll need to detach it like this. Now you can see that I am detaching these chair objects wisely to make them in small objects. So as you saw, I have detached this chair into several small pieces, and the advantage of it will be that we will have a very nice light bake on these objects, small objects. Even if we can put a resolution of 512, it will be very nice. If it was a whole object, then we will have to put a 4K resolution of light mask, and that will go insane on while we are rendering the file. And now you can see that we have this single complex object inside this chair, and we are not going to see this or notice this anyway, so we will be deleting this object. Just go ahead, make sure it's the only object that has been selected, and I will delete this object to make that chair a bit less. And now I can hide this chair, hide this. Just going on and selecting small objects and hiding it, and if I notice any big or large objects, I just going and detaching them. So for this carpet, what I will do is I will just go ahead in polygon mode, and then I will click ignore back facing in selection mode, and then I will select it from top view, so that I will only select the top portion. Then I will detach it into two different object and then hide them. And for object like this, what we have to do is go inside, and I will detach them like this. Otherwise they will be very complex while light bake, so I will make them as simple as possible. And for object like this complexity, I'll go ahead and then detach them in a smaller portion like this, so they will be less complex while baking the light on them. And if you have made the shortcut of detaching, then it will be very be easy for you to detach objects. So I suggest you should assign a shortcut for detaching the objects if possible. Okay, I will just go ahead and click ignore facing off. The more small parts you break them, the more better it will be. And for object like this of complexity, what you need to do is you need to detach them in few different objects like this. Again, for object like this, just go ahead and detach them into smaller pieces. I'm just clicking and pressing H to hide the objects that I don't think needs to be detached into smaller pieces.